Hello, everybody. Today is June 24th. You know why we're here. We're still following Israel v. Iran. Last night, we left off with the ceasefire, and it was kind of about to start. So we're going to catch up from there. And I'll just start off by saying it was a little shaky at first, but it looks like everyone kind of got the memo by now. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's check out our first source here. This is the New York Times with a free article here, and it has a great little graphic. It's a little timeline of the Israel v. Iran situation. So just to catch us up, we left off our video last night around here. There was some more bombings after the video. We're going to go down this list until everyone's on the same page. We're all caught up on what has happened today. 10:45, there was a missile barrage from Iran. At least 4 people died. Also, at some point overnight, Israel strikes missile launchers in Iran. And then here we go at midnight. Ceasefire should take effect according to the Trump timeline. So this was when the ceasefire was supposed to start, right at midnight here. 6 minutes later, Iran launches 1 missile at Israel. Just testing them to see what happens. Then 1:08, Trump warns in a Truth Social post that Israel and Iran should not violate the ceasefire. At 2 o'clock, Israel's government issues a statement saying it has agreed to a mutual ceasefire. Cool. It started at midnight. We all know this. You don't need to make a statement here. 3:25, Israel launches 2 missiles. So they started with 1, and then they did a second one. 4:26 a.m., Israel vows to retaliate against Iran. And right at 7:30, Israel does retaliate with limited strikes on a radar facility about 95 miles northeast of Tehran. And then before that, Trump posts on Truth Social demanding Israel refrain from attacking Iran. He's like, stop. Respect my ceasefire. It started at midnight. You guys aren't supposed to be attacking each other. So this is kind of what happened. So after 7:30 a.m. this morning, the day's almost over. There hasn't been any other strikes. So my take on the ceasefire is it got off to a late start, but it's working so far. And so obviously the ceasefire was disrespected by both sides. I would kind of blame Iran here. They struck Israel twice, and like doing it at 12:06, 6 minutes after the ceasefire was supposed to start, sending 1 missile is so deliberate, and it's almost funny. So I kind of do blame Iran here, but I mean, Trump is right when he says Israel shouldn't retaliate, because since Israel struck Iran after the ceasefire started, now Iran and Israel both look bad. But either way, I'm done talking about that. I just wanted to catch everybody up so we can continue and move on from there, kind of talk about the rest of the day. So this is what happened from the end of our episode last night, our previous episode, to 7:30 this morning. And then we're going to cover everything else that happened today that's worth covering. So let's check it out. We're going to head over to Truth Social. So this is a video from Trump. It was 9:50 a.m. today. So basically, this is Trump waking up, finding out that Israel and Iran are trying to make Trump look like a fool by not respecting the ceasefire, and he's pissed. So this is like reporters getting him in an interview, walking, and this is what he says about it. So we're going to listen.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of 1 rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but that is the kind of attitude I want from a president. And he's absolutely right. He also complains a lot here in this video about how Israel, before the ceasefire officially started, just bombarded Iran. And that's most likely why Iran had the deliberate attack after the ceasefire started because it was kind of provoked by this Israel strikes before the ceasefire. And so when he is mad at Israel over that, I do understand why. Although he made the rules here for the ceasefire, so he really shouldn't be mad about it. And he's also right when he says both sides violated the ceasefire. Trump's mad. Every time Iran and Israel send a missile at each other, it makes Trump look like a liar. And you do not want to do that. So that's kind of what's going on here. This is how Trump plans to deal with Israel via Iran. Just like, do not piss me off too much, all right, guys? Keep it civil. Stop. So that's more context. That was like one of the first videos released this morning. We're going in a timeline, in case you haven't realized. We're going in a timeline of what happened today, so you can get the context. Also, you're going to see a lot of posts that are like, the ceasefire didn't work, so there is no ceasefire, and they're still at war or whatever. Just because it didn't work at first doesn't mean the ceasefire is ineffective and not still in effect. It looks like both sides are respecting the ceasefire as of now. It just had a late start, like I said. So let's check out the third source. The other day, we showed you a video of John McCain singing the Beastie Boys song in reference to bombing Iran, which was a joke. And the people in the crowd in the video were laughing at it. They thought it was funny. We got another one of those today, so Trump made his own. This is the 2025 version of Bomb Iran. Let's check it out.
Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. What country's got a feeling really hit the ceiling? Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Went to a mosque, gonna throw some rocks. Tell the Ayatollah, gonna put you in a box. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Sam's getting pretty hot. Time to turn Iran into a parking lot. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. The country's got a feeling really hit the ceiling. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran.
This little situation going on between Iran and Israel is a joke to the United States. That's what this post is. It is kind of like crazy to see that this is the real world. I mean, that's the whole reason we're doing this podcast, so we can go over like current events that are just so bonkers you like have to talk about it. It's terrible because it is kind of like talking about like death and stuff. That sucks, but it's hilarious that we have the president of the United States posting this on his social media. And just to make it even worse, it's truth. Our president on his own social media platform is posting videos. It's kind of a remake on John McCain's bomb Iran. Trump made his own. He did it better. Just like he does everything better. And it really is just saying like, hey, Middle East guys, like stop. You don't want us to like stop it. Figure it out yourselves, or it will probably be worse if we have to get involved again. Like, it is kind of like a threat. And it is crazy just to think that this is the real world. You can't make this shit up. I believe Pakistan rescinded their Nobel Peace Prize nomination for Trump today because Pakistan is friendly with Iran. So it looks like Trump might only get one Nobel Peace Prize instead of two. So I'm looking for just this post that the New York Times is quoting from 6:50 and 7:28 a.m. We have Trump saying that Iran will never rebuild their nuclear facilities. Oh yeah, this is Trump saying Israel's not going to attack Iran. He's like, you guys better not. He's literally telling Israel to do not drop those bombs. Trump's the president, so he's getting information like before anyone. People are telling him like, oh shit, Israel's about to strike. And he goes on Truth and says, you better not. I swear to God, bro. And then here, 22 hours ago, the ceasefire is now in effect. So this is kind of updates after that. Let's check out our next source here. Oh, this one's cool. The House voted on an impeachment against Trump today on the grounds of abuse of presidential powers by Al Green. So the House voted on that today. It gets 79 votes in favor of, which is not enough. But the main story is 128 House Democrats voted today to not impeach Trump. So for people that think that's crazy, just think about this for a second. You might be like polarized so much that you don't actually see like the things that are actually happening in front of you, and you might kind of be living in a different world. Even a lot of the Democrats here understand. They're even grounded enough to know that like trying to impeach Trump right now is actually ridiculous, even with how high like the political tensions are with like the protests and the riots that we've had and all that jazz, and you got ICE abducting people, as they say. Most people like kind of realize that this isn't really news shit, and Trump is getting some good stuff done. We're not going to talk about that today. We're just going to talk about Iran v. Israel. And so far, his ceasefire got off to a late start. It looks like it's working. Again, we are going to continue to follow it. This won't be the last update on Iran v. Israel, I'm sure. But I just wanted to go over this, that like, if you like go around all day thinking that like Trump is actually like treasonous and he's like Hitler, just look at all the information that's being put in front of your face that says, maybe I am wrong here. And this is just another instance here. And this doesn't come as a surprise to me. The biggest surprise when I read this is that 128 Democrats voted against impeaching Trump. I actually thought that number would be smaller. I thought less Democrats would vote against it. So, you know, like that is a surprise, but they're right. All of these 128 Democrats are right. So we had to pull that up, had to talk about it. Let's check out our last source. JD Vance today, the vice president, he talks about Trump's Israel-Iran ceasefire. And he makes some really good points, and I think it is important to cover kind of what he says on it, because we all know if you just straight up ask Trump, like, hey, what are you really thinking about all this? He won't give you like the real answer. He'll just give you the answer that like kind of pushes his agenda. I mean, that's his job. And so we get just another perspective here, which obviously it's still JD Vance. He's always gonna back Trump. But just the fact that we get his take on it, we got to give it a listen because it does matter.
About what happened with Iran in the Middle East and some breaking news coming just now. Joining us this evening, Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, thanks for coming.
Absolutely, thank you.
Just seconds ago, the president went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. Complete and total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds, because while we have obliterated...
All right, so just that quote there, that first part, we don't really need to listen to the rest. He just elaborates even more. What he's saying there is exactly what Trump did. And if you ask Trump, you know, you're not going to get this kind of like rational answer. But JD Vance is really, really good on kind of explaining what Trump is actually doing in like normal people words, not like Trump words. You're welcome to have a president like Trump that can solve this conflict without dragging us into a war for 2 decades or spending billions of dollars or having American troops die. It is very impressive. No one ever thinks like, oh, why don't we just blow up all their nuclear facilities? Like that's a solution. Before Trump was a politician, if that got thrown out in like a political meeting, everyone would think that you're crazy. But in reality, it's just so simple that it might just work. And things like these do work. If you ever want to know the real reasons behind something that Trump is doing, a good source is to look at how JD Vance explains it. I'm sure he does agree with like what Trump does most of the time, but he kind of has to be like, all right, Trump just says, oh, I'm doing it because I'm the best, I'm the greatest, it's the smartest move that's ever been done ever. And JD Vance's job is to kind of be like, okay, how do I actually explain that to people so they could follow it? And he does a really good job at that. So I want to go over this. Also, this did happen yesterday, so to even add on to what JD Vance said about how Trump destroyed their military program without starting a war, he also ended the conflict between Israel and Iran with the ceasefire, which that hadn't actually happened yet when this interview happened. This was yesterday. The ceasefire started today. Trump even did a better job than JD Vance gives him credit for here because we're living in the future a day ahead of time. And we know that at the end of the day, you do kind of have to say, oh, this is a win for Trump. This is the 2025 Iran New Deal. Like, okay, Iran, we want to make a deal so you don't get nuclear weapons. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to bomb your nuclear facilities. Problem solved. Okay, cool. Oh, and while we're there, can you in Israel stop fighting? Thanks. Because you don't want us to come back. 2025 Iran New Deal. It takes 2 days. It's over. So we will follow it. I say it's over, but obviously it's not. Something's going to happen. I don't know what. We'll see tonight if more missiles get launched. We'll see how that goes. I hope that no missiles get launched and no one gets blown up. But if that does happen, I would like to see a response from Trump, from the United States. If Israel strikes Iran unprovoked tonight, I would like to see like a harsh response from Trump, just for peace of mind that the American people know that Trump's not being taken advantage of here to fight Israel's wars, and that the American public is not being lied to, and that there's not false pretenses for the attack that we did on Iran. So that's what I would like to see. Let me know your thoughts. Send a comment. Check out the YouTube for updates on this topic. Subscribe so you can stay up to date. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. we do a long form podcast, and we also do it live on Twitch. And that's going to be going over things, mostly conspiracies, but also like we'll take deep dives into other stories, and they don't always have to be current events. So a little spoiler, if you're interested in checking it out, a Heineken facility that got overrun by like rebels in like the Congo. And we're going to be going over that on Wednesday. It's fun. And it almost reminds me of like an Expendables movie. We're going to get stuff like that. We've gone over like Kurt Cobain, like the conspiracy behind his death. It's just a huge mix of things. So check it out. Definitely worth watching. It's like the main part of the channel here. But when things like Israel and Iran are about to go to war, we will cover that kind of stuff on the channel as well. And soon we're going to do an LA riots update. They're pretty much over, but there actually has been a couple smaller riots. And we're going to do just one episode and just cover them all. We also have an elected official from California almost trying to incite like gang warfare against police and federal agents. We got to play that video and talk about it. It's crazy. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. That will come out soon, definitely this week here. And have a great night.